You are what you think. Take a second, breathe that in, think about it for a second. It's powerful. I don't know about you, but to me, that's an area where I want to be a control freak as much as anything in my life. Like if there's ever anything worth controlling, it's the thoughts that come into our head. The power of the mind is hard to grasp. If you think how our mind has built nations, it's built churches, it's built businesses, it's built relationships, it's also destroyed, businesses, it's destroyed marriages, it's destroyed habits, it's destroyed lives. And so if you think about how powerful our mind is and how you are what you think, again, I don't know about you, but I want to control every single thought that comes into my head. You see, thoughts become feelings, and then when we have a feeling, that tends to influence our behaviors and our actions. And we all know watching this that our behaviors and actions end up leading to our results. So if you rewind that, if I want to have great results in life, and I rewind all the way back to the root of that, the thoughts. How can I control my thoughts? And that's what we're going to unpack. Okay, you are what you think. To me, it's fascinating when you study elite performers and elite, just historically. Like you look at people that have been world-renowned physicians and Olympic athletes and musicians and just all these different people that have just accomplished incredible things. Most of them would somehow, some way say it came back to their state. In other words, the emotions they were feeling and how they acted. A lot of us in life, we talk a lot about intentions, right? So in other words, like what I plan, my goals, my to-do list, my calendar, that's really important. We also talk about actions, which is, what I'm actually doing. It's the athlete hitting the ball, it's the dentist pulling the tooth, it's the salesperson making that phone call. Like actions, of course, are incredibly important. But the component that really elite performers say is always the component that makes the most difference in the results they get is their state. It's the energetic state they have, the emotions they feel when they make the plan. So if you're planning a diet, if fitness is important to you, if you're thinking about your spiritual life or relationships, whatever it is, the state you have when you go into that is what the results you're going to get out of it. So if I set a goal, if I have an intention to become more of a morning person or to be more organized, but I'm feeling states of doubt or anxiety or shame or worry or blame, if I've got that going on inside, I always kind of think of that as like the smoothie going on inside of me. We all know in smoothies you might have 2 or 3 different ingredients at all times. Well, you've always got a few different states going on inside of you at all times. So if we can influence those, if I'm feeling anxiety and worry before I make prospecting calls or before I have an important, crucial conversation with a client, I'm probably going to talk more. I'm going to listen less. I'm going to, I'm going to be less empathetic to people's needs, right? I'm not going to be in the right state of mind to really make the influence. However, if you look at other states that are empowering, if you think of states like peacefulness or just calm or forgiveness or acceptance or courage, right? How are we, and how is like even an athlete, if you follow basketball or baseball or football or track or any type of athletic sport, think about, it's the fourth quarter, the game's on the line. I might have the same amount of talent as everyone else out there. I know the play, but what's going on inside my head, the thoughts, we are what we feel, we are what we think. So there's 2 kind of main action items, if you will, that I want to talk about that really can make an impact to get more out of this in your life. Okay, the first one is awareness. So in my opinion, there's not really anything more important than understanding this and just being aware of it. When we wake up every morning, just realizing how the thoughts that are going on inside of my head, they tend to equate to how good of a parent I am. For me as a dad with my 3 kids, for me as a husband, for me is the way I watch my budget and I plan how we spend and how we serve others. And so awareness is important. I know when I'm off in any area of life, it's because the thoughts, in my head are off. So, of course, my actions tend to follow those thoughts. If I feel drowsy or fatigued in the morning, then I may rush into work. I may not have a good breakfast. I may not go for a morning run. I may not read a devotional or get my head right, my heart right. And then I rush to work and I'm living into a state. Remember the smoothie? All of a sudden I've got shame. I'm blaming something because I'm late. And then how do I treat my coworkers? How do I react in moments when I could hit the phones and be courageous and do the things that it takes to really build my income and my business, or I just kind of get into lazy mode and do activities that we all know aren't as empowering, right? So the first step is awareness. The second step is what I would call protection. And so the way I look at this, and it might be goofy, but to me it works, is in the morning I've got to put on my wardrobe. Like I've got to get my head right and my heart right and protect myself from the day. Because if our mind is not naturally our friend, if I drift into the day, then what's bound to happen is anytime someone looks at me or something happens, I might take it the wrong way. I might just have anxiety or all these feelings of like, God, what are others thinking of me? I've got doubt, right? So neutral will tend to drift into negative. So if I know that, then how can I be proactive, right? We all are about intentionality. Prepare myself before the day begins. So in the morning, before I look at email or start greeting people or checking social media or any of that stuff, man, I want to get my head right. Like that's protection. You're kind of putting on that wardrobe of protection so that when stuff hits, when someone cuts you off on the commute to work, and yesterday I would have responded with anger and maybe a finger, today, not going to touch me. It's not going to be a big deal. When someone sends me an email or says a critique that I might take personally, this stuff doesn't get to me. We all can think of times in the last week, let alone in the last year, where little things got to us and we played small. We acted out of, we didn't play as big as we could have. And we can think of other times where little stuff didn't rattle us. So if you can incorporate, number one, awareness, and then number two, the habit of protecting yourself when the morning starts, call it your miracle morning, call it whatever you want, but some sort of a protection where you start your day, because we all know the thoughts that we have end up being our results.